Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you a brand new series. What if Naruto had the future sight Bloodline? Part 1 guys. If you want to see part 2, go ahead and comment down below and tell me you want to see part 2. And I'll be posting it as soon as possible for you guys to enjoy. And also guys, remember to stick around for those what ifs coming your way over on Anime King. And also Anime King 3. Yes, I did have 3 channels and making 2 and making and making 3, which I post what if on every single day, yes. That's not mistaken guys, every single day for you guys to enjoy. It might sound crazy but it's not. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the making family. And remember to turn on that bell notification to see exactly when I post. Because I post every day guys, so it's gonna be a bit hard to keep up. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we just jump right into this new series? Start the intro guys. The child was at his seat in the classroom when he suddenly ducked his head as a spitball flew over his head and hit someone else in front of him. What? Who did that? The girl got up as she shouted. As Naruto pointed behind him, his face showed nothing but boredom and laziness. Kiba did, he said. Sakura got up from her place beside the Uchiha as she stomped up the rows, making her way. As she got beside the blonde boy, who looked rather disinterested. Without warning, she proceeded to give the Uzumaki a knuckle sandwich. Well, she attempted to. He pulled his head back at the last moment. Her fist slammed against the table as she quickly yipped in pain, pulling her arm up and rubbing her sore knuckles. As Naruto merely sighed. She had never hit him yet, and the way things were going, she never will. This time around, she couldn't complain that he let her hit the decks by trying to hit him. That was dumb. In the back of his mind though, he could only think about how old this was getting. Really, really old. Do you think I'm an idiot? Stop lying. It came from your direction, she said. I said it was the Inazaka. But I don't care if you believe me or not. Just leave me alone. She huffed further angrily as she made her way back to her seat. Everyone else was minding their own business. This was nothing new. It was a daily basis that Kiba would try to prank him, but it never worked. In fact, Naruto was never surprised. If the worst came to worst, someone else would get the prank instead. To them, Naruto's an enigma. He never got caught. He never got surprised. He never got frightened. He always told the truth, never lying. Above all, he was not lazy. He was just bored, showing complete disinterest in everything around him. But there was something to him that no one knew. Aruka came in as he greeted everyone, as he started to write on the chalkboard and conduct the daily lessons. And as expected, Naruto took notes, as he was a perfect student, a student that a teacher would dream of, always listening, always paying attention. As the time hit 3 p.m, everyone made their way outside towards the Taijutsu mat. Today was Friday. It always tended to take place on Friday, so if they got injured, they could heal over the following week and be ready for school on Monday. Today was no different. The students gathered on a large square mat under the 2 hovering trees that shaded them. The mat was slightly padded to soften the landings when the students fought, so if they hit the ground, it wouldn't hurt that much. And it was unnaturally smooth. It was said it was set that way to replicate a slippery era if the students were fighting in, but that was a lie. The reason being, Kiba nearly grind someone's face off on the mat when he got upset one day. The victimized boy, he's now going to a civilian school. 27 students stood around, crowding the mat while waiting. As expected, Aruka made his way through the students. As he stood in front of them, they quieted down, knowing that the sooner they got this out of the way, the sooner they could go home and do what they can for the next 2 days. Alright, it's time for Taijutsu, Aruka said, as he looked over the students. It will be between those I see fit. I won't put weaker students against those who are exceptional like usual. But be prepared for next week. You all know that Jounin exams are coming up next week. And if you believe that you need some extra work, then do it. I will let 3 challengers go. First, after that, I will tell you who go against who. The civilians challenge each other and made some small bets on the side about who would win. All too soon it was the rookies, colorful people remaining. Those were Shino Aberami, Choja Kimichi, Ino Yamanaka, Hinata Hyuga, Kiba Inazaka, Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, Shikamaru Nara, and him, Naruto Uzumaki. The 9 did not make a move to challenge each other. They were the best in the class, and they all knew who was the best in Taijutsu. It was the pecking order, like they all had their own social sides, and they knew who they could beat, who they could match in strength, and who they could lose against. Aruka knew this as well, and he explained while they waited. There were 9 of them. It was inevitable that one of them would not fight, or one of them would fight twice. Aruka would match them up so it would be fair in a way. Hinata Hyuga and Ino Yamanaka, Haruka said to the crowd. The 2 aspiring kunoichis made their way towards the mat as they gave each other a bow. Naruto closed his eyes. They will run to each other, Ino being faster because he has more confidence. Ino will try to punch her on the right cheek, but Hinata would deflect it and hold on to her wrist. Hinata would feint a jab towards her throat, but when the Yamanaka tried to avoid it, Hinata would disable Ino's captured arm with a jab to the shoulder. Because it's so painful to her, she will forfeit. Hinata will apologize a lot while blushing and fixing her arm, and then Sasuke and I will fight. Naruto opened his eyes as he saw all of that play out. Aruka then called up Naruto Uzumaki and Sasuke Uchiha. Sasuke got up. Forfeit, said Naruto. The class started to laugh. Sakura being the loudest. He's afraid of Sasuke-kun. I don't have to prove anything to any of you, he said. Despite his tone being bored and not so loud, the volume of it seemed to rose over everyone that spoke. His tone was a real buzzkill. The laughter ceased immediately. Sasuke smirked. He's got the right idea. Everyone here is subpar. The only people here that were close but not good enough were the Aberami, Kiba, and maybe Shikamaru on a good day. The class continued with Shino beating Sakura, Shikamaru forfeiting to Choji. Kiba practically destroyed another civilian boy when Aruka called it quits. Alright, that's enough. You may leave, Aruka said. The students made their way off as Sakura got patched up along with the civilian boy, and soon the place was empty of people. Time skip. Naruto Uzumaki was making his way. People parted as they just didn't even want him to touch them, as Naruto simply walked, as he really did not even look at them. But as he made his way towards his favorite place, his mood seemed to improve a bit, as he parted the flaps and leaped up on his stool. Tuki, Ayame, he yelled in the seemingly empty ramen stand. Naruto, I'm coming. The voice came from the back. As she then came out, brown hair, dark eyes, as she was wearing an apron, clothing underneath. Hey Naruto, she said. Hey Ayame, said Naruto. Doing well? Yeah, I'm doing well, she said. But that is not really up to it today. Naruto leaned over, caught her leaning as well. Did you stop him? He whispered. Yeah, I accidentally burned him on his feet, so he didn't come into work. So, do you know if... She got him off. Thankfully no, she said. I heard the envoy arrested them at midday. They were waiting at the corner. Did you tip off the envoy? The boy asked. No, it was just by chance, she said. Naruto leaned back. So all is well. That's great news, he said. Except Dad's leg. He's getting some treatment later at the hospital. He could be here tomorrow or the day after, so I guess it worked out. As Naruto nodded to himself. It's the least I could do. No. It's a good thing you told me earlier this morning. You could have knocked a little quieter though. You nearly gave me a heart attack. Next time say something while I'm still awake, okay? She said with a bit of chuckle. Hopefully there won't be a next time, said Naruto, as she frowned. her mood getting a bit sour at the thought of her father getting attacked by those hoodlums at the end of the block. He could have been killed, just like that. Seeing the look on her face, Naruto lightened up a bit. Well, how about some ramen? I'm starving, he said. She sensed what he was trying to do, as she smiled as well. Yeah, I guess we have cause for a celebration then. This time we'll both have it. Naruto announced that he could treat them both, as that made her smile. As she wandered into the kitchen, she came back a few minutes later. One pork ramen and one vegetable ramen with red peas, as she handed the pork over to Naruto. She then came around the corner and she sat down right beside him. As the both of them started to eat, they had much to be thankful for. Time skip. Naruto could be found doing sit-ups in his apartment. As he did another one, he tried to come up once again but he failed. His hands on the ground, he panted. Damn it. 300 is my limit, he thought to himself. He then rolled over as he started to do push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He reached about in 280 brackets before he collapsed, his arms feeling like rubber. He sighed. The sit-ups must have drained me, he thought to himself. He pulled himself to his feet as he picked up the towel on the chair beside him and wiped the sweat off. He then balled it up and tossed it into the open hamper. It made it inside without even touching the rim, as he did a small fist bump in pride. He then made his way to his bathroom to shower and clean himself up. He was in bed by 6 p.m. as he was tired after his exercise. He was anxious to get to bed and rest, eager to get the day over with. At the Hokage's office, a man who was sitting on his chair turned off the crystal ball that was focused on Naruto Uzumaki. This man was none other than Hiruzen Sarutobi, the professor, the god of the shinobi world. He had several titles. He was quite the infamous man after all. The third Hokage of the village. As he monitored his grandson every now and then, they were not related by blood, but by the close bond that they shared between one another. Or at least the old man hoped that he still had that. Hiruzen felt like him and the boy has been growing apart for years now. There used to be that feeling of companionship when the boy was younger, but they started to grow apart 3 years ago when the boy became 10 years old. They were still close, depending on whose opinion you ask, but not by the old man's. Naruto used to be more casual with him, calling him old man and all that. But now while he called him that every now and then, he started to behave more formally. Lately he started to keep eye on him, to figure out if anything was different, but there was nothing different. He was almost completely normal, almost being the key word. He was too normal, which in itself was rather abnormal. He ate at the same time every day. He always got 80% in his academics, being slightly above average in everywhere else. Exercised shortly before bed, and then he went to sleep early. This was as normal could get, but for Naruto it was strange. Anvu. An Anvu member instantly materialized in front of his decks. Bore, I want you to watch Naruto Uzumaki until sunrise. Inwardly the Anvu sighed. He just had to be the one to get the most unremarkable duty in the world. Time skip. It had been a week, and all the students assembled in their classroom. Today was the Jounin exams. All of them were nervous and anxious to get it over with. The lesser confident could be seen, as they were still studying. But the ones that were confident in themselves, their arms were crossed as they were ready for the day. Naruto had bags under his eyes, indicating a lack of sleep. He had probably spent most of his night studying and training, neglecting his body. His head was sagging down as he struggled to stay awake. His body finally gave out as he dozed off, head on his decks. He'd slept for an hour. At 10 a.m., Mizuki and Naruto walked in, papers in hand. Alright everyone, prepare for the test. As they stood in front of the class, scrutinizing all the children. I want you to do your best, and no cheating. Mizuki saw a certain blonde that was sleeping. Someone wake Naruto. Sakura smirked as she saw this as a golden opportunity. She cracked her knuckles as she was about to punch him, but he got up so fast he gripped her wrist. 1 hour, he screamed out. As everyone looked towards him confused. The class were confused, but the teachers are not amused. Naruto, prepare for the exam. You shouldn't be sleeping at a time like this, Haruka said. As Mizuki nodded in agreement, Naruto's eyes relaxed as they went back in that bored state. Yes, Haruka sensei, he said. Aruka nodded once to the boy. Alright, Mizuki, help me hand these out. I'll take this half of the class, and you take the other half. The two men started to hand out the papers until everyone was secure with a paper in front of them. Alright, you may begin, Mizuki said, as all of them got to work. As Naruto wrote his name, suddenly he paused. He looked at the paper. It seemed fine, but something felt off. He turned to the teachers to see if any of them were looking at him, but none of them were. He placed his hands on their decks as he formed the ram seal under the decks. Very slightly, he said, "Release." Breaking the genjutsu over the paper rippled, and it showed that the paper was upside down. His name was at the bottom, and he had written at the top. He shook his head and crossed the name out with a straight line. Pretty sneaky genjutsu. All my answers would have been written upside down, in the wrong place. As he wrote his name properly, as he wondered, who could have done it? Was it Mizuki? He gave me my test. It also could have been during the preparation, while it was being made. Someone cast a genjutsu and set it upside down in the stack. Was it meant for me then, or someone else? He looked around at the teachers. Mizuki was looking at the Naru who was sleeping, as he was already done with his test it seems. Aruka and Naruto gaze met, both staring for a while until it broke. They handed out the papers in a particular order, and all of our seats were prearranged before the test even start. I am sitting in 6th place. It would have been rather easy to put my test at the 6th position. One of these teachers, if not both, are out to get me and stop my chances of passing the exam. As Naruto purposely put in an incorrect answer before another one incorrect, he then started to write the correct answers in the other parts. Once he was done, he placed his head down. He remained in deep thought as paranoia started to plague him. After half an hour, they told him to stop. The papers were taken into the back room. Mizuki then told them to file outside to the Taijutsu mat as they all made their way out there. Once they were all settled, Mizuki was the one to take the reins. This year the academy is doing something different. Normally the students will fight each other in Taijutsu, or even the teachers, to test you in your Taijutsu capabilities. But this year you bunch will be fighting a Jounin. What? How the hell are we supposed to fight a Jounin? A civilian boy shouted, as the other civilians shouted as well. Quiet down, Aruka said. Just listen. When we're done explaining, you all will understand. The students went silent. It was noticed that students of different strength fighting would give the other a huger advantage. Like when Kiba took down Rana last week. Also, you're all aspiring genins. In the past, when you fought Jounin instructors, we didn't expect you to win. But us Jounin has strength, skill, height, and weight classes above yours. Kiba raised his hand. Aruka looked towards him. But this Jounin, he will be an adult, right? Not much of a difference. Why not just you guys after all, Aruka sensei? Not the case. Inazaka, he's 14, and he's your average size. Said teenager appeared out of a swirl of leaf, as he was wearing Anbu gear, and was wearing a blank face mask. This is the bunch, correct? Yes, Aruka said. But do you think it's fair to fight with armor? He removed his armor pads. He was wearing a brown vest underneath. As he gave the armor to Mizuki, who strode towards the end of the mat and placed it out of reach. He will fight you one at a time alphabetically. When he's finished with the fight, he will announce your grade. 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. Any other concerns? What about his mask? Naruto asked. With the mask on, we can't go for face hits. It's still like armor, no flesh. The Anbu Jounin flashed 2 hand signs. 3 hand signs to be exact. As he removed his mask, the students were shocked. His face is blank, said Sakura. A civilian puked to one side. As Naruto spoke up, for the love of Kami, calm down. It is just a very strong genjutsu. He obviously isn't allowing you to see his face, said Naruto. The genins looked ashamed a bit, the one that were reacting badly to that. Alright, the Anbu said, who's first? Shino walked up to the mat. That will be me, Anbu-san. As Aruka pulled out his marking sheet. You may begin. The Anbu moved towards Shino, sending a punch toward his stomach. Shino sucked his gut in, as he twisted and brought his leg up and brought it down. But the Anbu knocked it to the side. Shino then jumped back, before he shot forward once again, this time sending a straight punch. The Anbu grabbed his wrist. Shino was counting on that, as he brought his leg up, but the Anvu slapped it down with his arm. Shino sent his left fist forward. The Anvu ducked right underneath it, lower himself as he used the arm that he was holding onto to flip Shino over onto his back. The Anvu wondered. Yes, he knew that his juniors are weaker than him, but he wondered though were they going to be better or worse. That will have to be rectified later. You will have an 8, he said, as Shino showed the standard fighting style for the academy. He performed and executed quite well, as he helped Shino up back to his feet. Next, the Anvu said. The civilian students went one right after another. Their scores morally insist in the 2 and 5 bracket. Jounin went, as he got a 7. Soccer gets 6. Hinata went next as she got a 7. Kiba went soon as he got a 9. Shikamaru put in a bit effort but he got a 6. Sasuke was smirking, as he couldn't wait for his turn. But the Anvu, he was probably holding himself back so much, it wasn't even funny. Seeing that he was so young, that meant he was quite skilled. Just like Itachi. As Sasuke frowned to himself at that. Alright, Sasuke Uchiha, you're up next. About time, he said, walking onto the mat. Ignoring the squeals of his fangirls, he stood across from the Anvu as he observed him. That faceless thing he has going on is so intimidating. No wonder the civilian scores are so low. They must be afraid to even touch him, Sasuke thought. He dropped into the intercepting fist by his clan as he waited. Begin, Mizuki said. They both moved towards each other. The Anvu was a lot faster, so he reached Sasuke before he reached him. He threw a fist towards Sasuke. Sasuke grabbed it and pulled the Anvu forward as he tried to elbow the Anvu right in his face. But the Anvu simply ducked it. He then planted his left leg behind Sasuke and pulled him along, tripping Sasuke. Sasuke started to fall, but he gripped onto the Anvu tightly as both end up falling down together. The Anvu pulled his hand back the moment they hit the floor. Both fighters rolled away as they got back to their feet rather quickly. Sasuke, seeing that the Anvu's speed was much greater, settled for defending. So when the Anvu threw a fake fist, he was prepared for the shin that came up next. He moved his foot as he kicked the Anvu right in the calf, driving the kick with the front of his handle. Not wasting a valuable opportunity, Sasuke threw a fist towards his chest, but the Anvu raised his guard just in time. Sasuke used the opportunity to slam a fist into his stomach. The Anvu stepped backward just in time as the punch caught him, lessening the punch from the blow. The fight went on a bit longer as Sasuke's stamina started to fall. The Anvu noticed that he decided to end the fight so it would not lower Sasuke's score. I've seen enough. You're a 9. And drop Abereme's score to 7, he said. Sasuke smirked as he dropped his stance. He bowed his head as the Anvu reciprocated the action. Haruka then looked down the list after he wrote number 9. Alright, next up, Naruto Uzumaki. The crowd partied as Naruto picked himself off the ground, joints popping. Yeah, I'm coming, he said. Both fighters settled into their stances, as Naruto's left foot was pointed forward. His right foot was turned to the right a bit, his arms in a loose motion. The Anvu was never seen his stance before. He was curious. Begin, said Mizuki. The Anvu made the first move, but Naruto did not even move, he just stood there. He threw a right hook towards Naruto's jaw, but Naruto's hand rose in that second and grabbed it and pulled it down. As Naruto brought his knee up to smash it in the Anvu's chest, still holding onto his arm so he did not try to lessen the impact. The Anvu merely blocked it with his other arm though. Naruto released him and did a full 360 turn as he sent a roundhouse kick towards his neck. The Jounin caught it and grabbed Naruto's leg and twisted him as Naruto twists with it. As his head looked up towards the sky, his leg then lashed out and slammed into the Anvu's chest, forcing him to let him go. As he landed in a perfect roll, the moment he got back to his feet, he rushed towards the Anvu. He kicked him right in the shin before he dropped and swept away his left leg. As the Anvu fell back down, he then proceeded to bring his hand down to stab the Anvu in the gut, but the Anvu rolled away from it. The Anvu then pushed off the ground forcefully. As he got back to his feet, Naruto paused as he did not go after him, he just stood there. The Anvu watched him carefully before he moved towards Naruto once again. He made a knee feint towards Naruto, but Naruto stepped back 3 steps. By the time the Anvu abandoned the feint and brought up his other leg, Naruto was already far enough to grab the leg and not be hit as he kicked him right in the calf. The Anvu flinched in pain as Naruto slammed his elbow right into him. The Anvu pulled back his leg rather quickly, barely able to stand because of the damage done to it. Naruto moved and kicked away the good leg. As the Yonvu landed, Naruto was above him. As he dropped, his knee hitting the Yonvu in the stomach. The Yonvu made no sound as he got the hit. In fact, it looked like he was trying to scream out, but he couldn't because of all the air being pushed out at once. Naruto flipped over and grabbed his throat. As he locked him in a chokehold, it was mainly for show to show that he had him in his power, because he released him in the next few seconds. As Naruto saw his face, rippling a bit. Hey, control your genjutsu. It's starting to fall apart. The Yonvu said nothing, but Naruto saw the green eyes and then it fade away, showing that he got control back over it. As Naruto got back up and grabbed the man's hand, pulling him up, as the man leaned on his uninjured feet. As Naruto bowed his head, the Yonvu doing the same. Yes, that's definitely a 10, he said with a chuckle. Pretty good for an academy student. Thanks, said Naruto. But I could have been better. I would rather go for a 9, or a 9.5 if possible. Don't want my head to swell any bigger. Especially since you weren't even going all out. 9.5 it is then, the Yonvu said. Iruka was still in shock as he wrote 9.5 beside Naruto's name. Everyone was in the same state. Hinata was happy as she was blushing. Sasuke gained some grudging respect for Naruto right there. He was surprised. Shino lifted up his shades, shocked. How many handicaps were you using, said Naruto, much to everyone's surprise. The Yonvu chuckled. Weight seals on all my limbs. No usage of my chakra to enhance any of my attacks. And some Jounin Taijutsu. Could have been done better if I had used only one foot without the handicaps. You want to fight again, kid? For real. The others couldn't believe what they heard. That kind of diminished Naruto's score a bit, because Yonvu was holding back so much. But still, Naruto got the highest out of the class. The Yonvu went through hands and his hands started to glow green. He ran over his leg. And in a short amount of time he was back to full health it seems. Naruto walked off the mat as he made his way under the tree, as he sat down near to Sasuke. Sasuke glanced over towards him before he simply closed his eyes. The Yonvu walked back to the mat. Next, he said, time skip. Naruto watched, with the students with their headband. It was soon his turn. He felt like he was gonna fail this year again, but so be it, he thought to himself. After all, he wasn't that eager to get out of the academy to join a force that had such a high mortality rate. He looked toward the students that were so happy. I guess I'm in denial. I won't whoop for joy if I pass. But I won't get all moody if I don't. But it's so damn boring in here. I guess I want to pass, he thought to himself. Mizuki came in as he turned towards the last 3 that were there. Next, Sasuke Uchiha. Sasuke returned 3 minutes later with a headband on his forehead. Mizuki poked his head out. Uzumaki Naruto, you're up next. As Naruto saw there was 2 forehead protectors remaining, I need you to perform a transformation. Make your attempt when ready. Naruto transformed into Shikamaru. As he yawned, troublesome. Iruka expected it though. Their attitudes were really similar. Alright, the substitution is next. You ready, Naruto? Iruka asked. Yeah, said Naruto. Iruka took the Senmon off the desk and threw it towards Naruto, as Naruto substituted with a chair. Last year when Naruto tried this, he had substituted with Mizuki. He gave the need back to Iruka, as Iruka placed it on the desk. Alright Naruto, time for the last jutsu. I need you to perform the clone jutsu. Naruto sighed inwardly. Well, that's how it goes. At least I have all these years' notes, just in case I failed. But damn, this is getting too goddamn repetitive. I should have found out if I would pass or not. As he went through the 3 hand signs ending on dog. Clone jutsu. Time skip. He cleaned out his decks as he packed his things and started to walk away. Naruto came to a stop. Of all people, it was Sasuke. What do you want? Why are you not wearing your headband? Sasuke asked. I didn't pass, said Naruto. What? How come? Sasuke said. Clone. I can't do it. Huh. Maybe it's like mine. You know I got problems doing it as well. Asked Naruto raised eyebrow. No, I didn't. If you do, how did you pass? I usually use up most of my chakra before attempting the jutsu. When I have less chakra, it's easier to do it. The first thing I did this morning was use most of my chakra before coming to school and doing the exam. As Naruto thought about it, the chakra theory made perfect sense. But one thing didn't make sense though. So why are you telling me now, when I already failed? Hell, why are you trying to help me at all? We don't talk, said Naruto. Sasuke gave off a shrugging vibes. If you had mentioned your control earlier, I would have tell you. And the fact that I have to be placed in a team very soon. You're the only person here that I see as a capable teammate. Unlike these others who barely try, I don't want anyone slowing me down. You should talk to the teacher and see if you can get a second chance. As he walked away, as Naruto watched him leave. That made perfect sense. He never thought the Uchiha would have that side to him though. As he found Mizuki first inside the Shinobi Cat's room. Excuse me, Mizuki-sensei. I would like to speak to you about something. Ah, I as well. I was just about to go look for you, but you may speak first. I think I found a way to pass the exam. Is it possible for me to retake the exam? Tomorrow, he asks. No, Naruto, I'm afraid you can't do this test again. You did pretty well in the other portion, so I thought I would find you and tell you about a makeup test. I'm listening, said Naruto. Time skip. Alright, said Naruto as he sat in the forest. Shadow clone technique, he said. A poof of smoke and a clone emerged. Exactly the carbon copy of him. He did a fist bump with the clone to make sure it felt solid enough. As he saw more jutsus in his scroll, he wondered how much clone he could make. He brought his fingers up and created over 1,000. And he could make them far more durable by pushing more chakra into them. After 30 minutes of experimentation, he found himself running on fumes. All of a sudden, Naruto, what are you doing with the scroll of sealing? Aruka asks. Naruto blinked. I'm just doing the secondary test, Aruka-sensei. You should know about it. After all, Mizuki-sensei said all the ninjas were in on it. Secondary tests? What secondary tests? There's no such thing. Kame, what else has Mizuki been saying to you? Aruka asks Blonde, unbelieving. A large Fuma shuriken was being sailed towards Aruka back. Naruto pushed him out of the way. It sliced through the trees behind him. Aruka quickly pulled out a kunai. Who's there? He said as he stood in front of Naruto. As Mizuki stepped out of the shadows, a smirk on his face. My Aruka. Don't tell me you had to be saved by an academy student. What's this all about, Mizuki? Aruka asks. It's an exam exercise. Don't you know? We were testing Naruto. The hell? Don't break character, he says. He pulled a kunai out. Naruto failed. There is no such test, Mizuki. As Mizuki launched the kunai at incredible speed, Aruka blocked him, but Mizuki launched several more, and he threw one at the exact perfect moment as he stabbed into Aruka. Mizuki, you're a traitor. As Naruto realized his big mistake, not to mention he was low on chakra, and now he had to go against a Jounin. Naruto, give me the scroll. As Naruto glanced, hoping that Hokage was watching this, and he was on his way to help. You're the one messing with my test, are you? Even the one from today? Yeah, that's right, Ninetales. Ninetales? Said Naruto. Don't you know, Mizuki said with a grin. Don't you say it, Mizuki! It's forbidden, Aruka says. He coughed up some blood. What's forbidden? Said Naruto. When the Kyuubi appeared 13 years ago, the Kyuubi was not destroyed by the fort. Or was it killed? It was sealed in a newborn. That is why you have no parents. That is why you have those whisker marks. That is why everyone hates you. It's because you're the nine-tailed fox. He unstrapped the second Fuma shuriken off his back. Enough chit-chat. Die, demon! As Naruto stood there, Naruto move, Aruka said. As he got up, but Naruto pushed him to the side. Pulling a kunai out, Naruto stuck it right in the center of the Fuma shuriken as it started to spin violently. He brought it down as it slammed into the earth. The two of them looked at him shocked. What? Said Naruto. You can't expect me to learn everything at school, now do you? Besides, I already have my suspicion about the fox. If anything, I like the whisker marks. As Naruto pulled the kunai out and gripped it. You're getting ahead of yourself, brat. I was gonna kill you quickly, but now I'm going to stab you in each and every one of your organs. I'm gonna make you suffer before I gouge out your eyes. As Naruto merely shrugged, Mizuki rushed towards him. As Naruto blocked it with his own kunai, parrying it to the right. Naruto grabbed Mizuki's elbow and turned him around before he thrust the kunai towards the man's back. Unfortunately, he missed his vital organs. Mizuki cried out as Naruto stepped back as he swung around. Mizuki pulled the kunai out of him. He threw the kunai towards Naruto's face. Naruto dropped flat, the kunai embedded into a tree. As Naruto saw the Fuma shuriken, he pulled it out and swung as he launched it towards Mizuki. Mizuki dodged it as he jumped, and bury his fist into Naruto's gut. Naruto dropped as he gripped Mizuki's leg and flipped him over. The man was shocked as he slammed on the ground. Naruto brought his foot down and slammed it into his back. Mizuki cried out. Naruto grabbed onto his feet as he then turned with emotion. Snap! Mizuki screamed in pain. He used his other feet to kick Naruto away as Naruto fell onto his back. He slowly got onto his good leg. As he moved closer to end the boy's life, he pulled his last kunai out and plunged it toward Naruto's heart. Poof! As Naruto was replaced with a log, Mizuki was about to look for him until Naruto fell out of a tree. He was panting. He was already exhausted. Using that substitution, it took a lot out of him. He shouldn't even be fighting the condition that he was in. He had just held the Shadow Jutsu, 1,000 of them for 30 minutes. Mizuki smirked as he walked over to end his life. Seeing that Naruto was tired, but Aruka jumped onto him. Mizuki grumbled and tried to push Aruka off. Aruka was not strong enough to hold him down as Mizuki drove the kunai into his chest. Aruka looked up towards Naruto. I'm sorry, he said. Naruto watched the light fade away from his eyes as Naruto clenched his fists in rage. As blood started to drip from his palm. What did you do? He said, his voice becoming feral. He ripped his hand from his palm to show his nails they extended. Mizuki stepped back as he saw Naruto's whisker marks got thick and lengthened. Fangs appeared where his teeth were supposed to be. They elongated to strange, wolf-like fangs. As Naruto moved, shot by the speed, Mizuki could not move as Naruto slashed at his throat. A red liquid exploded out as Naruto gripped his legs and swung him around. As the red liquid was pure blood just spraying everywhere, Naruto bashed him to the ground several times before throwing him as he slammed into a tree. Mizuki slipped down the tree as he was bleeding rather badly. As his eyes were barely open, Naruto picked up the kunai as he brought it over. He then proceeded to stab the man at least 100 times, as if it would bring Aruka back, as he kept on stabbing until his jumpsuit was so crimson. His rage continued as he raised a kunai and plunged it through his right eye socket. It pierced through the tree behind him, stuck in his head there. Naruto backpedaled from the scenes as the blood was soaked all over him. When the Hokage and two envoys appeared, a few minutes later they found Naruto on the ground, looking at his bloody hands. Hiruzen looked over towards everyone before his eyes, focused on Naruto, who seemed to be in a catatonic state, as he did not notice them at all. He was just sitting there like he had witnessed a murder, which he practically had. He motioned for the envoys to check Aruka for a pulse, and also remove Mizuki. As he moved close towards the boy, remembering his studies in the psychological books, he sat beside the boy and waited for him to speak first. The envoys shook their heads when they test Aruka, as he signaled for them to take him to the morgue. They then plucked the kunai out of Mizuki's eye socket, and they took him away as well. As they came and picked up the weapons, the only thing that was left was the blood all around. After a few hours, Sarutobi dismissed the envoys, as he waited beside Naruto. As Naruto finally spoke, Aruka-sensei. He killed Aruka-sensei. He was trying to help me, and he killed him, said Naruto. And I killed Mizuki, said Naruto. As he looked toward his hands, he started to furiously wipe his hand in his clothes, and then on the ground he saw how bloody his clothes was. It's my fault, Hiruzen said. If only I had arrived sooner, I could have prevented this. I had some difficulties finding this place. There was nothing outstanding about this location. I must really be a demon, huh? Said Naruto. Naruto-kun, stop. You are not a demon. You merely hold the beast back at bay. You are its prison. You are its master. I use its power to kill, a handicapped teacher. Hiruzen shook his head. Mizuki was about to kill you. Were you going to let him kill you? He asked. No, of course not. If only I had my chocolate at the time, and beaten him up or something. Or if I tried to... Naruto, perhaps you should come to my home and sleep instead. It would benefit you more than to sleep alone tonight. Hiruzen held his hand out to the boy, as Naruto looked towards it, as he grasped the hand. As soon as he did, they were gone, the body flickered. Time skip. Naruto's eyes snapped open, as it was his usual time of waking up. As he registered where he was, He remembers stabbing Mizuki over and over again, as he already knew the condolence that he would be getting. For Aruka, people would be saying that he did what he had to do. But now that he had killed, he needed to move on. Was that right? It took him one day to get over it. Is that even normal? He thought to himself. Recalling that there was a demon still inside him, he realized nothing about him was actually normal. This was his second time, as he made his way. As he arrived and sat down between the older man and the young child. Morning, Naruto. How did you sleep? The older man said. Like usual, said Naruto. The man took that as a good sign, seeing that he was getting over a shock. Naruto, huh? Morning, Naruto. My name is Konohamaru. Hey, Konohamaru, said Naruto. The man in the goatee got up and started to prepare breakfast. You didn't stumble your way into our rooms on accident coming here, did you, Naruto? No, Asuma-san, said Naruto. The man raised an eyebrow. How did you know my name? You're well known in the village, said Naruto with a lie, not wanting to disclose that he knew him from his future meeting. Well, good for me. I guess I'm popular, Asuma said with a small chuckle, as he prepared some breakfast for himself and the boys, before he seated once again. Naruto frowned a bit as he looked down towards the noodle soup. It was his least favorite, and this was the second time he had to go through it. Once he was finished, he had to place his dish in the sink. He was gonna have to be a bit ignorant for a few minutes, or hours, nothing that he could handle. So, Sarutobi-san. Huh? Can I have my clothes? I can't just go out in underclothes that I slept in. There's gonna be a problem. We disposed of your bloody jumpsuit. You didn't expect to be going back into that. So what am I gonna wear then, said Naruto. I'm sure I can find something around here that you can try on. At least until we get you to the clothing store that all fit ninjas. Besides, if you have more jumpsuit like the one that you were wearing, you need to get rid of those too. Honestly, kid, you're gonna need to lose the bright colors, so you don't catch a Kona in the back. When you're out in the field, outfit change, huh? Oh yeah, I will. Definitely. Time skip. Naruto and Asuma made their journey towards the ninja service establishment. As Naruto was wearing a jacket and pants that were 2 sizes too big for him, the cuffs he had put into them were becoming to turn undone, and he felt rather a bit unnerving and awkward. There wasn't really anyone there. As he went inside, they tapped the bell. Hello? I would like some service, Asuma said. Come in, a voice of a young girl said. She had twin buns in her hair. Welcome to the Higurashi, Shinobi Supplies. Hey Tenten, I came down here to get Naruto some things to prepare himself to be a ninja. As he patted him on the head, and to get him some new clothes. Naruto, is it? I've heard of you before. Good things, right, he said. As he raised the eyebrow, he goofily made a pose. But the girl simply shrugged. Well, they say that you were so quiet. Most people didn't even know what you sounded like. I guess I should count myself lucky, huh, she said. Let's begin shopping, shall we, Asuma said. In a short half hour later, Naruto was dressed in a blue V-neck shirt. Long sleeve that were slack around the elbows, it was dark blue. Black pants, with grey sandals that round it off, all nicely. He had a backpack on his back, with his kunai shurikens and weapons inside. He had everything sorted out in different pockets. The bag fell right on his back. Now for a weapon, Tenten said in a squeal, as the both of them looked towards her. Sorry, I guess I just like weapons, okay? Now, don't you want something to fall back on? When you've just about thrown everything else, she said, looking towards Naruto. Never liked that situation for anyone. So what kind of weapon do you like to use, she said. She took his hand as she started to feel his biceps. Good definition. A strength type. Like guy, she said. As Naruto retracted his arm as he thought about how he stabbed Mizuki full of holes. I must still have some trauma, he thought to himself. Something blunt, he said. Iron knuckles? Hammer? Staff? She asked. Asuma felt a bit put on the spot. His father had asked him to help Naruto get equipped, but he didn't count on his purchases going in this region. Let me see your staffs. And mind the pricing, as she led them towards the back room. As Naruto looked over the staff, his mind wandered to where Hiruzen asked him if he would have let Mizuki kill him. He didn't really want to kill anyone, but it was his profession. Is there anything that is both blunt and sharp? At the same time, he asked. Blunt and sharp. Well, I think I have a tonto with a no, said Naruto. Something else. To be honest, we got something experimental from Land of Iron 2 years ago, but no one wanted it. And what is it? Asuma asked. It's like some kind of folding blade. It's also some weird kind of staff too. Let me ask Dad if he know where it is, as she made her way towards the back. A few minutes later, she came back with a box. As she opened it, it was like a overly sized rectangular shape, with handles on the side for the grip. It was about 6 inches long. Asuma looked over it confused. That's it? Where's the rest of it? He asked. Tenten gripped it as she swung it down, as it extended. On one side it was rounded off and blunt, but the other side was sharp to a decent degree. It was like a one-edged sword, with an extremely blunt opposite side. That's new, Asuma said, looking it over. How much does it cost? Said Naruto. I asked Dad about it and he said that he completely forgot about it. So you can have it for half price. 8,000 Ryu. Asuma's cigarette dropped out of his mouth. That thing was for 16,000 Ryu? Yep. It's made with some expensive material to guarantee durability. Besides, chakra can be infused into it. That's always a good thing, right? I mean, I don't know if he can do it, but sooner or later he will learn, right? Asuma picked his cigarette up. I don't have that much on me. I'll be back in a few minutes. As he left in the sunshine. As it became a bit awkward, so, use anything like this before? Naruto asked. No, never. If you're gonna learn, you probably need a sword user, and a baton user or something like that. Or figure it out yourself. Worst case scenario. I self-taught myself, but it always feels lacking. Maybe you could read a book on human anatomy, and figure out the best place to hit in the meantime. Alright, Asuma said, coming back after a few minutes. I think I got enough to cover the entire sum. As they went back to the front desk, Tenten had everything, the kunais, shurikens, paper bombs. Alright, that will be 23,810 Ryu. Good thing it's not my money, Asuma says. He started to count out the cash, as Naruto stopped him. Just give her the 24,000, you know, like a tip. A tip, Asuma said with a smirk. You like Tenten, Naruto? As Naruto was not embarrassed. Yeah, she's nice. Asuma realized his job did not work. He simply shrugged, as the girl blushed a bit as she took the money. As he picked up the weapon. Thanks, Tenten. I'll see you around. Yeah, later, she says. She made her way toward the back room, rather stiffly, muttering something about blondes. Well, that's that. I'm just gonna go home to drop things off. Then we can visit Old Man Hokage. Time skip. As Harrison thought about everything so far regarding Naruto, he learned the Shadow Clone technique in a mere hour. He got some good battlefield sense as well. And he took down a Jounin, well, in a violent way, but still he took down a Jounin by himself. And from what the Hyuga said, there was remnants of the Kyuubi's chakra around. He need to keep a close eye on Naruto just in case, as he was already tapping into the Fox power. There was a knock. Come in, he said. Just dropping Naruto off, Asuma said. He said he wanted to see you. Okay, Asuma, you can leave. If anything, Naruto will explain some things. He said that quick wave. Asuma nodded as he left the two alone. So, Naruto-kun, how are you feeling now? Harrison asked. I feel better. I'm not at a full 100%, but I feel better, maybe. I'll never be back at 100% again. You mean a loss of innocence? I won't lie to you, Naruto-kun. It's a terrible ninja world, and you will be expected to kill once again. It's not an endpoint that anyone wants, but it will be up to you to gauge your options. I know all that, but it could have gone on without all that bloodshed, said Naruto. And Haruka, he didn't deserve all of that. And what about me? Having the Kyuubi inside of me? Did it help influence what I did? No, said Naruto, I can't blame it. I did all of that myself. I want to see that ninjas that I kill are the bottom of the scum. People that deserve it. It's something you will have to get used to. Taking a life. Different ninjas have different ideology. And all of it is reasonable as long as one doesn't like it. Never, said Naruto. Good. If you need to discuss that topic further, I could get you some psychiatric help. It is not uncommon. I can imagine a long line, to be honest, said Naruto. But what is your ideology on killing? Well, it's either the bane of other people or the end of another person's pain. As Harrison allowed Naruto some time to consider it, and seeing that he was adopting it as his own. You were forced to grow up rather quickly, but I'm glad that you were spared from the event. I provided some money for you to get some supplies. About that, am I a ninja now? Harrison chuckled. Naruto was friendly with him. even more than before. Perhaps it was a bonding that they were doing now. Yes, Naruto-kun, in fact, here's your headband. I wanted to give it to you myself. As Naruto reached and took it, as he looked at the blue cloth. Congratulations, you're one step closer to being Hokage. Hokage, huh? Said Naruto, as he tied it behind his head. I guess so. If not a Hokage, then what? Here's an axe. A person who always made the right decision. Can't say being perfect, but being wrong always sucks. Is that so? Making decisions based on others' past experiences. Well, yeah, them too. But mostly based on my own. Sir Tobo was befuddled. Naruto was only 13 years old. How much experience did he have to make decisions based on his own experience? Anyway, JJ, I want to say thank you for paying for my supplies, especially for the last weapon. What was it? Here's an axe. As Naruto went on to describe it to him and what it was. Ah, I see. Will you name it? Hell no, said Naruto. Anyone who names a weapon, obviously, don't have time to be making friends. The last thing I want is for another race to be needing psychiatric help. Everything came to 24,000 Ryu, by the way. It would have been more expensive if I did not get a discount. Besides, I'll pay you back when I get a high-ranking mission. Hint hint, said Naruto. I want to go save a princess or something. Harrison chuckled. There's no need. My own account is quite sizable after all. After all these years of saving, I don't even really make purchases that often anymore. Is that so? Well then, my apartment needs a bit of renovating then, said Naruto, if you don't mind. Perhaps in a fortnight. Get some planning done and such. As Naruto bowed his head. Thanks, JJ, he said. Time skip. As Naruto sat down in his usual seat, bored as usual. As Sasuke came in, as he looked around, the fangirls already swarming to take seat beside him. But that is when he saw as he made his way and sat down right beside Naruto. As they turned their sights on him, as Naruto counted in his mind, 3, 2, 1, cue the Inazaka. Naruto, what the hell are you doing here? You failed the test on Friday, idiot. This place is only for real ninjas. He knew, just as usual, as he turned towards Inazaka. I am a real ninja, but if you want to know how I pass, wait 3 minutes. You will soon find out, said Naruto. Huh? What the hell does that mean? Kiba, be patient. His answer is curious, but it has merits. Let us wait 3 minutes to see what he means, Shino said, as Kiba was still confused. But guys, be in subscribe right here. If you want the next person to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, turn on that bell notification to stay posted. But I'm off for now, guys. See you guys soon. Peace.